Hi guys, Opera here, and today I'll be bringing you my Mannadium deck profile. For those of you who don't know Mannadium, it's a very synchro spam deck that revolves around destroying the little balls to summon out other copies of them from deck. They also each have unique features when they're popped. Before we get into the deck profile, if you could please like and subscribe to the channel, that would greatly help the channel grow. And as I continue to grow, so will all of the benefits you guys get from subscribing to my Patreon. For $5 a month, you can get access to a members-only channel in the Discord. The link will be live this week. You get early deck profiles from me. You get to appear at the end of every video in a little list. As well as you get to vote on a budget deck for me to play once a month at locals. That and many other awesome perks that you'll get. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Starting off with the balls, we're on 3 Meek. Meek is a level 2 tuner who has the option to, when he's destroyed by battle or card effect, special summon another Meek from deck, and can modulate his level to be 4. This is actually very important. This enables a lot of synchro plays on its own. It's not once per turn either, so you can usually float into all 3. Next we're doing 3 Mannadium Fearless. I'm probably going to refer to them as both throughout the video. I think Mannadium's is correct. Fearless doesn't have the level modulation, but he has the summon from deck and can make all synchro monsters you control gain 500 attack. Also not once per turn. One of the many ways you can pop them is with Mannadium Heart. Heart is a quick effect. During the main phase, you can target one monster you control, destroy it, and then special summon himself from the hand. If he's normal or special, he can add a Mannadium spell or trap, or it's just a Mannadium card, from deck to hand. This is your main searcher into cards like Obsidian, or if you need Imaginings or a Dome, you can grab them. On top of this, he's a 15/21, which means all your domes, which have a summoning condition that they can special summon themselves from the hand. If you control Ace Visas or 15/21 will be live. And he's a quick effect, so if your opponent tries to target remove a dome, then you can, or target book it, then you can chain him. 3 Visa Starfrost. Visa is actually really important here in this archetype. Does a lot, being able to destroy and then trigger the floating effects. He causes you to be able to gain access to your Scareclaw portion, which is very big, but it's a very important engine nonetheless. And being a level 6 tuner means that him and a Reichardt that you see next can equal the unaffected Chaos Angel, which is something I like to do with this deck. I remember my buddy Chris Lofton telling everyone to buy Visas when he was pennies a piece, and now he's $30. Next card is Scareclaw Reichardt at 1. This card is here as a search target for the field spell for the Reichphobia, and he's just good extension, searches a revival, and can draw you a card if there are 3 or more defense position monsters in the field, which sometimes there are. You can do this pretty easily. So he's not only just draw power, but he is extension too. Pretty much free extension. 1 single Prisma, because we play the A Hero Lives package. Drawing into A Hero Lives can suck in grind game, which is why I'm considering moving this to 2 and 2, having 2 Prisma and 2 Hero Lists, so that way there is a target, and it's less likely to be a dead draw. The thing I like about this deck is you can play a lot of non-engine, so we're playing a lot of hand traps. 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, still really good. Brand is still really good. 3 Ghost Bell, since decks like to touch the graveyard. 3 Ghost Mourner. Essentially acts as another 3 copies of Imperm. Yeah, that's the general hand trap lineup. You can swap them depending on what your locals look like to be either Troll or Ghost Ogre. or if you want to play the Cyframe package with Gamma and either 2 Delta or something else, then you may. But it all just depends on your local scene, I think. I run into a lot of stuff where Imperm is insanely helpful, and that's why I opt to run the Ghost Mourner. And then every other hand trap is just good here. That's all for the monsters. Let's get on to the spells. We have 3 Peaceful Planet Calarium. This field spell is sometimes counterintuitive because on activation adds a Visa Starfrost or Mannadium monster. Typical stuff for the Visa's field spells. Light monsters you control gain 100 attack for each tuner that I control and in my graveyard, which does suck because these are tuners. So do keep in mind that your domes will not be able to summon themselves from the hand if you control, say, Riemhart with tuners in the grave. However, this will not affect Reichart, so Reichart is fine. But then it also has the effect that if a tuner monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can summon it back to the field. Really good for extension. The only problem with the field spell is that the portion where it gives the light monsters an extra boost, because that can turn off some of your plays. So do keep that in mind when using this card. Three Mannadium Obsidian. This card is bonkers. It pops a card you control. Doesn't have to be face up, by the way. In order to search out Calarium or a Mannadium spell trap if you already have Calarium on the field. And it has a secondary effect in the grave. You can manage to summon a Visas or 1521 from your hand. Very good extension, so you don't have to burn through your domes again. I'm playing one Mannadium Imaginings just because it's good to unclog some bricky hands. Those Syak hands that we get. And it's just generally good draw power. It also has a second niche effect that I don't ever see coming up. It allows you to treat a 1521 you control as a tuner for the turn. One Scareclaw Arrival and one Primitive Planet Reichphobia. It's part of your very small Scareclaw engine, consisting of 3 main deck cards and 1 essential extra deck card. And these are just great for extension. Sometimes going second, you do see the pop effect of Reichphobia coming up. And overall, it's just very, very good for extension. Three, A Hero Lives, as I mentioned, might cut that down a little bit to 2 and 2. But I think this is fine for now. Summons Prisma from the deck. Prisma does everything. One Terraforming is my final spell card. This is just to search the field spell. We're not in a super droll heavy format anymore. It seems to be leaving the format. So I think personally now it's fine to play something like Terraforming or Reinforcements. Personally, my pick is Terraforming. A couple traps. One Mannadium Reframing. Really good Omni, really good Recursion, shuffling back tuners into the deck. The little domes. And then 3 Infinite Impermanence. Another hand trap, another piece of non-engine we can run. It's really good this format, so may as well. Now for the extra deck. This is where things are able to be a bit more creative. You do not have to go exactly by my list, and in fact, I recommend that you guys experiment, because this deck can do a lot with generic extra decks, kind of like how Spiral could back in the day. But start off with an Axel Stinkro Stardust Dragon. This is a big card for the archetype because of being able to revive a level 2 tuner and getting a free Baron. And since the domes are all level 2, it allows you to get an extra use out of it. Plus this allows you to play Nibiru through the mirror, since we are playing Stardust Dragon in the extra deck. Stardust Dragon is here because of this card. We need this to make sure we play through Nib, because most people are going to nib you on the summon of the tuner. So you then make a Baron that's just unaffected. So these are a really cool 2-pack card package. This is a very important card for the deck. So is Baron de Fleur. Baron is a huge part of the end boards, and is actually an extender in some cases. Being able to pop a dome on the field to trigger its effect or trigger a field spell. It can be really good, and it's a really good Omni Negate. Best Synchro 10 in the game. Chaos Angel, because we can make this correctly and easily and unaffectedly. Insanely good card. And honestly, some decks just do not have a way to get rid of this in the main, and some decks staring down a Mannadium board are not going to have a way to get rid of this card, period. Ice Shade Gamer Egg Green, just because it's really good protection for your synchros and can be made with Meek, because it's a water tuner. Also, is really funny to sit on a board of these two and just watch as my opponent really doesn't have a way to answer these. But yeah, Green's here for protection. Dispater, because we can make this very easily and use it as a form of extension. Plus it's another interruption on our opponent's turn if we make it. One Prime Heart. This one people might look at me a little funky for, but this card is a very good OTK tool that requires a little less investment in some cases than Access Code Talker. Plus can get stacked up really big, really fast. Even reach and is able to make multiple attacks during each battle phase. Reason I recommend him over Access Code is because it's easier to access in this deck, being able to be made with a light monster and one or more tuners. And with the field spell up, he gains extra attack. With after triggering the floating effect of Heartless, he gains 500. If you do that, if you say you trigger Heartless both times, it's 1,000 extra attack, so he goes to 4,000 already. And then say you have a few hand traps in graveyard, and 3 Heartless, and maybe not a Meek, but he now gains even more attack. So it's like he can stack up huge really fast and make multiple attacks, clear boards, and just do a lot of damage. Also, did you know Mannadium Prime Heart is a special defensive ability that prevents your opponent from targeting it with card effects? So yeah, he stacks up really fast and is an amazing OTK tool. I turned one single dome during my testing for this deck back before I built it. I turned one single card, one single dome, and a Ream Heart in hand into a Prime Heart OTK. One Draco Berserker at the Tenyi, really good synchro 8, really good interruption. When a monster activates its effect, banish it. You can also make multiple attacks and gain attack. It's really good synchro 8. One Stardust Charge, just because he's a synchro 6, sometimes you need to make those. And I don't think Coral Dragon is as good, but Coral Dragon can also be used here. Plus, Draw Power gets you into more non-engine if you need it. Some Link monsters, we're playing a Lightheart. Lightheart is the essential one for this Gear Claw stuff, because he searches Reichvogue, which gets you into Reichheart, which gets you into Reborn. Plus, while Visas is on the field, he can revive himself, which gives you free Link material. Just a very good card. Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep is actually a very important card in the deck, because Cross Sheep is extension and an attack gain, which is actually very important. And you'll always find yourself making your lines if you're able to make this card. You will always make this card. Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess, a huge piece of your end boards, usually making a 3, sometimes even 4 mat Appo. You get Barrier Cult Synchro, you can just make a 4 mat Appo, Or you can do the next card, which is my in case everything went horribly wrong button. Scareclaw Tryhard. Some builds run this. Not a lot of people are opting to run it. I think this is a great option in case everything has gone wrong. In case things have gone like horrendously wrong and you need time. And your opponent's not playing a Link deck that can climb it. This card is just an amazing tool like that. It's like Baguska, but on a 3k beat stick. Which is why I personally like it a little more than Baguska, is because we also have an easier time making it. So yeah, this is just the failsafe, in case you need a little more time. And then for fusions, we're playing 2 Vicious Astrolabe Extender, usually used to go into another Synchro 10. He's good for a pop too, and if you do this during your turn going second and they don't negate it. But mostly he's just here to be a level 8 body to go into something like a Synchro 10. And with that, that concludes the deck profile. This deck is a lot of fun, and I think it's slowly going to get better as time goes on. Because Droll is now out of the format, and that was the main thing that was stopping the deck, was Droll. And I think now this deck is going to be a really big contender for this format. It's able to do so much off of just a little bit, and is overall just a very explosive, very fun combo deck. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys learned from the deck profile a little bit. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, or even donating my Patreon. My link to my Patreon will be in the description, and the description will also include my Discord and a Twitter handle. You're more than welcome to follow me or add me on any of these platforms and message me asking for help, questions, or anything else, just to chat. And I'll see you on the flip side. You guys have a great night.